money,
From getting into a fight for a bracelet, to even challenging a well-known rapper for a boxing ring to settle their problems. This is the controversial case of TraxNYC.
I got a 50 gram, 14K gold nugget that I'm gonna give away for free to you. Sir, would you like this gold nugget? Of course not.
Today, TraxNYC is a famous and debated name in the US jewelry scene, with a business valued at over $300 million. His journey began far from expensive gems or famous people. Long before the public attention and the internet fame, he arrived in New York as a 7-year-old refugee. During those years, he didn't know much English and had no idea what his future held. The person who eventually created a huge luxury brand started out as a shy boy just trying to get by in a different country. So, Max Agadjani was born in 1986 in Baku, Azerbaijan. At that time, the region was part of the Soviet Union. He grew up in a home that seemed very stable. His father was a detective who worked on homicide cases. His mother was a reporter. They had 2 good jobs and steady money. Life looked safe on paper. However, the area changed quickly. In 1991, the Soviet Union fell apart. Azerbaijan became its own country almost overnight, and political trouble took over. The streets that used to feel normal became hard to predict because the safety his family relied on disappeared so quickly. Staying was a risk. Crime was rising. In 1992, his family made a major choice to leave.
This is the world's first steak cooked on gold. Gold conducts heat faster than any other metal. Therefore, it heats up faster and you could cook the steak 3 times faster than you would on cast iron. That's why this steak is finished in minutes. I got a 50 gram, 14K gold nugget that I'm gonna give away for free to you. Sir, would you like this gold nugget? Of course not. Anyway, so we've got the gold nugget. Nobody's gonna want it. That's one person. If this guy right here doesn't want it, sir, free, then we'll throw it in the...
Remaining in a place with so much trouble was dangerous. Crime was rising and the government was failing. Because things were so unstable, his family made a major choice in 1992. They decided to leave. Their goal was to get to America. They were not looking for money or fame. They simply wanted to survive and find new chances. They came to the country as Jewish refugees, which was a surprising move for some. Max explained that even with a Muslim name and a home in a Muslim country, his mother is part Ashkenazi and part Georgian Jewish. He describes himself as half Jewish and half Muslim. He grew up following Jewish customs but had a Muslim father. This mix of cultures stayed with him for the rest of his life. When the family got to New York, they lived in Queens. In the early 1990s, Queens was full of immigrants from places like Russia, Eastern Europe, and Latin America. Everyone lived in small neighborhoods, all wanting the same success. In the middle of this busy city, Max was a young child who could not communicate with anyone. He sat alone at lunch on his first day of school. He had no one to talk to or joke with. It was a quiet and confusing time, but he was still drawn to the energy and the look of success in America. He was captivated by the drive and the bright style of his new home. He watched how people dressed and how they acted. He saw that success had a specific look in America. This desire to fit in and eventually be noticed began to guide him. It eventually turned a lost refugee child into a famous figure in the jewel trade. The 1990s were a major time for hip-hop music. You could hear the Notorious B.I.G., Tupac Shakur, and Wu-Tang Clan playing from cars and buildings in every part of New York. While the music was everywhere, Max was interested in more than just the lyrics. He loved the entire culture. He liked the big jackets and the confidence the artists showed. He was especially drawn to the jewelry. During that time, jewelry was a way to show your rank. Heavy gold chains and diamond pieces meant you were successful. That sparkle was a way to show that you had escaped a hard life. To a boy who came to the country with a very uncertain future, those diamonds were a sign of a win. It was not about being greedy. It was about having evidence of making it. It was proof that you built a life from nothing. Before long, Max stopped just watching. He started to take part in the culture himself. He began painting graffiti on the walls and subway lines of New York City. Wanting to leave his mark like many other kids, This was the moment he chose the name Trax. In those days, it was only a street name painted in spray paint. He didn't know that one day that same name would be tied to some of the most expensive custom jewelry in the country.
Got this image. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. I'm not a thief. There are a lot of thieves on this street. I'm not one of them. I spent $200 million plus over here. 3 o'clock tomorrow. If there's one person on this street that I owe money to, I'm gonna wash their feet right in front of my shop at 3 o'clock at 64 West 47th Street with this water.
Long before he worked with wealthy clients or made million-dollar deals, he had to enter a very private and old-fashioned business. By 2004, Max was 18 years old. He had lived in Queens for 11 years, where he learned the language and watched how people made money in the city. He realized that to have a real chance, he had to go to one specific place. That place was the Diamond District in Manhattan. It's located on the 47th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. While it's only 1 block long, it contains more than 2,600 different businesses. There are shops for diamonds, gold, and watches, along with offices sitting above the stores. The area is very busy with fast talk and quick deals. Almost 80% of the diamonds that enter the United States go through this single block. Since the 1920s, Orthodox Jewish families have mostly run the district. They have been in the trade for many years and passed their skills from parents to children. The shop booths on that street often stay with the same families for many years. For a person with no name or help, entering that world was not easy. Trax wanted to do more than just fit in. The Diamond District was made for insiders, and the system works to keep things that way. Families pass down their booths and their lists of suppliers for decades. If you don't have the right last name, you start behind everyone else. In 2004, most people his age were busy with school or dating. Max was focused on finding a way into a very guarded business. He had no help or special links. He had $1,500 in savings and a mind that would not give up. On paper, his goal seemed impossible. Instead of spending his cash on clothes or going out, he bought a digital camera. That choice led to many new things. Around that time, eBay was growing fast. People were selling shoes and electronics to buyers everywhere. Many of them were making good money. Meanwhile, many jewelers in the district still worked the old way. They liked cash deals and handshakes. The internet was not important to them. Trax saw a gap that they missed. People around the country want the quality found on the 47th Street, but they could not travel to New York. He wanted to be a bridge that brought those jewelry booths to the whole world. His plan was to walk into the stores, take pictures and put them online. If something sold, the jeweler would get the full price they asked for. Trax would take a small fee for his work. There was no risk for the store owners. It was a simple idea, but it was hard to get people to listen. Many shop owners turned him away. Some laughed at him. An 18-year-old with a camera did not seem serious to people who followed old traditions. He kept going from one booth to the next. Eventually, one jeweler gave him a chance. The item was a gold ring for $750. The deal was simple. If it sold, he would pay the jeweler. If not, there was no cost. He took careful photos and listed it for exactly $750. He did not add any extra cost. He waited to see if his idea would work. The ring sold. When he got the money, he gave the jeweler every single dollar. Max stayed honest and made no excuses. However, the reality of the business arrived when eBay took about $120 in fees. While the sale was successful, his earnings vanished. Even so, he proved a larger point. He showed that he could break into the existing system. The cost of those fees came directly from his own funds.
Gonna guess the value over here, and you're gonna get some gold or some silver, man.
$8 grand.
That's enough to get you 1 ounce. This guy?
35.
Okay. 35K, that'll get you
Better.
2. How much you think is worth that pile?
If I get it right, you gotta give me the whole thing.
How much you think it's worth?
I don't know, bro.
Come on, guess a number, bro. Forget about you don't know.
6 digits?
You think I knew when I started? 6 digits? All right, that's a clue. Yeah, sure.
200?
After covering the eBay costs, Max actually had less money than when he began. Many people would see a loss of money and time as a reason to stop. Max had a different perspective. He realized that the true gain was earning trust. To the jewelers, he was just a young man claiming he could sell items on the internet. He proved his words by selling the ring and giving the full amount immediately. Integrity is very important in the Diamond District. News travels quickly in that area. So once one dealer saw he was reliable, others began to pay attention. Max slowly grew his reputation by completing one deal after another. Over the following months, more shops allowed him to photograph and list their items. Each successful sale made it easier to talk to the next jeweler. He was no longer a random person with a camera. He was becoming helpful to their businesses. As he built these ties, he also studied the trade. He learned about diamond quality, color scale, gold purity, and weight. He figured out how to find imperfections and how to avoid being cheated. He practiced negotiating and learned to understand what customers wanted by watching their behavior. This was the same information families kept to themselves for generations. He learned by working hard every day and paying attention. There were no easy paths. He spent long days in small booths, listening and learning. In 2005, Max was 19 and decided to take another big risk. He spent a year showing people in the area that he was useful. He now had some experience and some good contacts. Most importantly, he saved enough money for a bigger plan. He opened a real shop in the Diamond District. This was a huge gamble for a 19-year-old with no outside money or a famous family name. Rent in that area was very high. There were many other sellers to deal with. A single bad month could ruin him, but he was ready to bet on his work. This was how TraxNYC began. The name he once used for graffiti was now on a sign in a famous market. Opening the store was just the beginning. The real test was staying in business. The Diamond District is a very tough place. There are over 2,600 businesses in one small part of Manhattan. Most are run by families who have been there for many years. They had better links to suppliers and more cash than a young person. Max knew he could not win by acting like a traditional jeweler. He had to find a new way to do things. He looked to the internet once more. In 2007, he started a YouTube page to show his work. He didn't make it look like a normal ad. He didn't just show gold and tell people to buy this. Instead, he shared the secrets of the trade. He made videos showing how to find fake watches and explain diamonds in a way that was easy to grasp. He spoke about how much money jewelers actually make on a sale. This was a brave choice. For a long time, the jewelry world kept these details hidden. Sharing this info for free was a big deal. The facts that families kept secrets for years were now open to everyone. Other sellers thought he was making a mistake. They wondered why he would help buyers argue for better prices. He knew that being a teacher would make people trust him more. When simple teaching was not enough to get views, he added some tension. He made bold remarks and called people out. He used these moments to get attention, but the goal was always to share knowledge.
Is there a number for you where you're like, yeah, if I hit this number, fuck it, like I'm done. You'll never see me give out gold on the streets anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll tell people numbers right now. Snapchat, by some miracle, is giving me $40,000 a month.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta love Snap.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that is a little nougat, a little piece of information. YouTube is giving me, the shorts are not making that much money. They're giving me $20,000 to $25,000 a month.
Yeah.
Snapchat is giving me $40,000 a month, right? That's not gonna last forever. That's not including my jewelry business.
Yeah.
That's the jewelry business sells between $3 to $4 million a month. So that has its own income reinvested, whatever it is. So if you're making 60 grand a month, okay, aside from a jewelry business, aside from anything else, right? That's a vast amount of capital that you could enjoy right now. You don't need
a certain number in your bank account depreciating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You need an income that's win for life.
People were fed up with the confusion and high-pressure tactics often found in jewelry trade. They were looking for honesty and someone who would speak to them directly. Max began to gain a following because he avoided the usual sales pitch. Instead, he came across as an insider who was dismantling the old ways of doing business from within. As his online popularity grew, more people started visiting his shop in person. By the time customers arrived at the store, they felt a sense of connection through his content. They had already learned from his videos, and that familiarity built a level of trust before they even talked about money. To the public, he stood out as something different from the usual image of a Diamond District jeweler. Max was not looking for views. He was focused on a specific goal that connected the hip-hop culture he loved as a kid. Everything he did was leading up to his plan to make custom jewelry. When he lived in Queens, he would study every detail of the chains in music videos. Now, he was the one designing them. Most old-school jewelers understood diamonds, but they didn't truly understand the culture. Max did because he grew up in it. He knew that a piece of jewelry was a way for someone to show their identity. The problem was that the custom jewelry market was owned by a small group of people. They were charging between $100,000 and $500,000 for a single piece. This price worked for the most famous musicians, but it was too much for rappers who were still trying to grow. Max saw an opportunity to provide another option. He offered high-quality custom work at prices that rising artists could actually afford. This helped him find many new clients. Soon, names like Young M.A., Kodak Black, and Black China started coming to his shop. Eventually, even more famous people like Cardi B, Snoop Dogg, and Mark Wahlberg worked with him. Max was excellent at marketing. He turned every celebrity visit into content. He filmed the drawings, the building process, and the moment the artist saw the final result. Each project became a video, which brought in more fans and more customers. People wanted to buy jewelry from the same person their favorite artists used. By the middle of the 2010s, TraxNYC was a major name in the hip-hop world. His popularity led to an invite from GQ for a series where he reviewed jewelry owned by famous people. He gave his honest opinion on whether the pieces were genuine. This became very popular because he was not following a script. He spoke his mind if a piece was poor quality or too expensive. His video started to feel more like a reality show as his personality became more noticeable. In 2019, the Safdie brothers were finishing a movie called Uncut Gems. It starred Adam Sandler as a jeweler with many problems. The directors wanted the movie to feel very real. To do this, they filmed at actual stores and used real jewelers in the scenes.
So not only did these fucking pieces of shit, okay, rip you off on this fucking thing, it turned out to be 9-karat gold, right? You had a check?
Yes.
So they're gonna be giving you $1,000 on top. Here's $22,000 for your fucking trouble. These bum motherfuckers, bro. You get people in this exchange, people in this. Stop being greedy pieces of fucking lying shit! So I'm Trax. I want this coming up with a fucking scheme every fucking time. Keep fucking scheming, bro. 9-carat this, 2-carat that, this that. Security what, bro? Fucking bullshit, bro. Stop stealing! Gotta come up. I want my fucking money, motherfuckers, bro. I gave the money up. You wanna be TraxNYC? Here, TraxNYC! Akai! Garbage! You motherfuckers are garbage!
Max was one of the jewelers in the film. He played a worker named Yossi, who dealt with the main character. While the actors performed their parts, Max didn't have to pretend much. He lived in that environment every day. When the movie was released, it became very popular. Many people noticed Max because he didn't look like he was acting. He seemed perfectly at home in that intense world. Following the movie, his fame grew outside of the rap world. He was a leader in a specific area for a long time, but now the general media started calling. Many shows and podcasts wanted to hear from him. Even places that never cared about the diamond district were now interested in his views. Being famous was not enough. He used that energy to try new things. His videos became more intense to get more views. He did things like cooking food on gold bars or using a solid gold bat to see if it would break. He also showed himself melting large amounts of gold and displaying stones worth millions. Every video was larger and more extreme as he tried to figure out how to reach a massive audience. He eventually found a style that worked perfectly. He stopped just showing his wealth and started talking to people on the street. He offered real silver and gold to strangers for no cost. This change made his video about more than just jewelry. They were now about how people react and the real moments that happen on camera. Many people would not take the expensive items. Most video makers would stop filming if that happened, but he kept the camera running. He realized that people not believing him was the best part. People watching at home could not believe strangers were turning down free money. This made the videos very popular and brought in millions of viewers. Some people thought it wasn't real, while others thought the strangers just assumed the gold was fake. He kept building on that success. Instead of just handing things out, he asked people to guess how much the gold or silver was worth. If they got it right, they could have it. This made the videos even more exciting to watch. By the start of 2020, his brand was very strong. His shop was doing well. He had millions of followers and he was known as a famous media figure. But everything changed when the pandemic started. Stores closed and people stopped visiting. Selling expensive items became very difficult because the future was unclear. The Diamond District is usually a very busy place, but it became silent in a way that longtime workers had never seen before. Other jewelers tried to save money just to stay in business during the slow time. He decided to try something new. Since his store was closed and everyone was staying home on their computers, he started making videos about more than just jewelry. He shared his thoughts on the economy and world events. He called this project Trax News. He wanted to give people information directly. It was a risky choice because jewelry customers might not want to hear his opinions. However, he was already known for saying things that other people avoided. Instead of losing followers, his audience grew. People who never planned to buy jewelry began watching just to hear what he had to say. By 2025, he had over 9 million followers. Appearing on podcasts and in magazines helped his reputation grow even more.
Where's my f***ing money, motherfucker? Where's my f***ing money, bitch?
You want
You
to
little thief bitch. You little fucking thief bitch. You want to use my name, rip people off? You fucking little bitch. You fucking bitch.
So Akai, for spitting in my face, for strangling me, I'm gonna make you an example for the world for greed, bro. Learn how to share the money and let it go.
Max was no longer just known for diamonds and gold. He grew into a brand with power that reached well beyond 47th Street. But with a more public voice came more people wanting to find fault. Having a larger platform meant more eyes on his life. Max was never one to stay quiet when there was a problem. In January 2026, his long effort to show people the truth about bad sales in the Diamond District reached a major point. For years, he shared videos to tell buyers to check the quality and price of what they bought. He told them to be careful of people pushing them to buy fast. One day, this very situation showed up at his own door. A person went to 47th Street just to find the TraxNYC shop because they watched his videos and felt they could trust him. But before they could get there, someone from a different booth called A&A Diamonds stopped them. Max says the workers there told the buyer they had the same quality but for less money. The person believed them and paid $22,000 for a 14-karat gold bracelet. Still, they felt unsure about it. Instead of just going home, they stopped at the TraxNYC shop to get another look at the piece while the cameras were running. Max did a test on the bracelet. He said the results showed it was not 14-karat gold, but was actually closer to 10-karat. This is a problem because lower purity means it's worthless. If he was right, The person paid a high price for something that was not what they were told. This was exactly what Max had been saying would happen for years. Instead of just giving advice, he did something big. He gave the person their $22,000 back from his own money. He was not the person who sold it, but he still gave them the money. He even gave them an extra $1,000 for their trouble. It was all filmed and became a huge story online. Max and his team went to the shop while filming. He wanted answers and said they lied to the buyer. He felt they used his fame to get the deal. Many people nearby started watching. This area is already full of strong people, so the tension was high. The clip went all over social media. Many people liked that Max used his own money to help the buyer. Others wondered if there was more to the story. This event made people talk about him again and who to trust in the jewelry business. The situation got worse very quickly. Max said someone spit on him and workers tried to grab his chain. In a few seconds, people were fighting. It was a bad scene that surprised people who have worked there for years. Max went to Bellevue Hospital because he had marks on his neck. The Dacca brothers, George and Freddie, were taken by police and charged with assault. Millions of people saw the video of the fight. A small business problem became a huge national story in just a few hours. People who support him felt this event proved what they already believed. They had watched his videos for years where he spoke out against bad habits in the trade. In their eyes, he was a protector of the industry who finally took his message to a high level. The comment sections were full of people saying good things. Many called him the only person who could stand up when things were difficult. Some gave him the name Sheriff of 47th Street because he showed he was willing to act on his words. And he didn't slow down after this happened. Instead, he made the most of the attention he was getting. While many people were watching, he brought up old arguments again. He even asked Tekashi 6ix9ine to get into a boxing ring to settle their past problems. This kept his name in the news outside of the jewelry world and made him look more like a public entertainer. Whether you think he's protecting buyers or just looking for an argument, the result is clear. He took a street-level problem and turned it into a massive story for the world to see. Very few business owners who would put their name at risk in a situation like that. He did it all on camera, knowing the video would go far beyond New York. Now people are left wondering what will happen in the future. Has he truly become the most powerful voice in the Diamond District? Or has he started new troubles that will follow him for a long time? So subscribe or TraxNYC will challenge you.